afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our report. Throughout this presentation, we'll explore financial arrangements. So let's get started. When companies set up foreign subsidiaries, these subsidiaries often help finance projects in the host country. For example, imagine a company called Spartan Incorporated, which owns a subsidiary in Singapore. The subsidiary borrows 10 million Singapore dollar to buy office space. It pays 1 million SGD in interest every year and repays the full loan amount, which was the 10 million SGD, after 4 years when the project ends. At that point, the subsidiary plans to sell the offices for 10 million SGD and use that money to repay the loan. Here's what changes under this financing plan. Number 1. No lease repayments. Since the subsidiary is borrowing money to buy the offices, it doesn't need to pay rent anymore. However, it still has annual cash outflows of 1 million SGD because of the loan's interest payments. Second, loan repayment. At the end of 4 years, the subsidiary will repay the 10 million SGD loan using the money it gets from selling the offices. In foreign projects like this, financing decisions are more complex because exchange rate risk and foreign interest payments can affect how much cash ultimately reaches the parent company. To avoid errors, the companies analyze cash flows separately for the parent company and the subsidiary. This ensures a clearer picture of how much profit the parent company is truly earning from its investment.
One more alternative arrangement in which instead the subsidiary purchase or lease office space using its own funds. This means the parent is putting more money upfront to own the office instead of the subsidiary leasing or borrowing the funds. If the parent rather than the subsidiary purchase the office, the following revision must be made in capital budgeting analysis. First, the subsidiary will not have any loan payments because the parent will purchase the office. Since the office are to be purchased, there will be no lease payments either. Second, the parent's initial investment is 15 million instead of 10 million. Third is the salvage value eventually received by the parents is 22 million instead of 12 million because the office assumed to be sold for 10 million after tax at the end of year 4. The 10 million eventually received from selling the offices can be added to the 12 million to be obtained from selling to the rest of the subsidiary, and the comparison of parent subsidiary financing is preferred over the parent financing because the cost of borrowing for the subsidiary is lower than the return the parent expects on its investment.
Financing with retained earnings means using a company's accumulated profits to fund its operations and growth, avoiding external financing. So multinational corporations fund foreign projects using subsidiary profits instead of parent investment, avoiding upfront costs with limiting remittances. In case analysis exhibit 4.3, retained earnings financing generate profit but withholding taxes reduce parent remittances and NPV turns positive in year 4. Next is block funds, or assets frozen in account and accessible until certain conditions are met. In some countries require subsidiaries to reinvest earnings locally before remitting, delaying cash flow to the parent. In Exhibit 4.4, block funds delay remittances, impacting liquidity, but final NPV remains positive.
Now let's talk about the key factors on evaluating international projects, which are the salvage value uncertainty and impacts on existing cash flows. First, salvage value significantly affects a project NPV. With uncertain salvage value, consider various outcomes and calculate the break-even salvage value. If the expected salvage value exceeds this, the project is likely feasible. Now let's proceed how foreign project affect a company's existing cash flows. Foreign project can also boost existing cash flows. For example, a subsidiary buying from its parent increases the parent sales. So assess the both direct profitability and the broader impact on a company operation. In conclusion, analyzing uncertain salvage value, their break-even points, and their potential existing cash flows can make informed international investment decisions. Thank you.
Host government incentives. Host government often provide incentives to multinational corporations to encourage foreign direct investment in their countries. These incentives aim to enhance the economic benefits of the investment, such as job creation and overall economic growth. There are types of host government incentives. First is tax incentives. This is when the host government reduces tax rates to improve profitability for subsidiaries. Example, removal or reduction of tariffs on imports and exports. Second is financial incentives. Governments may provide low-interest loans or grants to MNCs. This direct subsidies helps to cover capital, production, or marketing costs. Lastly is infrastructure support. Development of facilities or utilities for projects operation like discounted land or real estate offered at reduced price or for free. Real option are the right but not the obligation to make or abandon a business decision, often related to investment in tangible assets. It provides flexibility in capital budgeting by allowing managers to adapt decisions based on changing circumstances, enhancing project value. Example, a company can choose to abandon a project if it becomes unprofitable, or a company might have the option to expand production capacity if demand increases. Once again, good morning and thank you for your time and attention today.